The cycle of life. Your project follows a life cycle. The PMBOK Registered Trademark Guide defines a few patterns of work that projects follow. Those patterns are called life cycles, and thinking about the life cycle your project will follow determines a lot about the approach you'll take to delivering the product you set out to create. Predictive. In predictive life cycles, the project's schedule, scope, and costs are defined up front. The early phases of the project determine how the rest of the project will be executed, and the project team does its best to execute the plan and minimize the impact of changes as they happen. Predictive life cycles are all about predicting what will happen, preparing the best plan possible, and then working to follow it. Adaptive. Adaptive life cycles are all about change. Instead of planning the work and working the plan, teams that approach their work in an adaptive way repeatedly perform all project activities to deliver small pieces of the project that have value to its stakeholders. Those pieces are called increments, and most agile life cycles are all about delivering valuable increments to customers as soon as possible. Because the life cycle is repeatedly and frequently executed, change can happen without disrupting the work. The product of each iteration is an opportunity for feedback, and each iteration provides a means of changing the scope of the work that will be done. Requirements. Design. Implementation. Verification. Maintenance. Page. Iterative. Iterative life cycles are closer to predictive life cycles than adaptive ones. When using an iterative approach, the team still tries to plan most of the work up front but uses repeated loops within the project life cycle to identify possible changes to scope, schedule, and cost baselines. Those changes can be made throughout the project's feedback loops. Hybrid. The term hybrid. Incremental. Teams that use incremental life cycles deliver small, usable pieces of work to their stakeholders for feedback through a series of iterations. Incremental development life cycles are much closer to adaptive ones but differ in that the increments produced here cannot be considered final products but must be combined in a final iteration to be considered complete. Hybrid. The term hybrid describes any combination of predictive and adaptive approaches. Project managers often have an important role in helping the team decide which approach to take. You can follow one of the life cycles defined here, or make a new combination of predictive and adaptive practices that better suits your organization. Tailoring. Throughout this book, you'll see advice on tailoring life cycles. Each organization has a unique culture and set of considerations that affect all of the dimensions of project planning and execution. For each of the main chapters in this book, we'll try to call out the types of questions you might ask yourself when thinking about which approach to use for your project. Common ground. Projects, programs, and portfolios have a lot in common. We've talked about the differences between portfolio management, program management, and project management, but there are a lot of similarities between them, too. Professions with proven processes. Portfolio managers and program managers have a set of proven processes, tools, and techniques that have been used to manage many successful programs and portfolios. Like the PMP, the Project Management Institute offers certifications in portfolio, PFMP, and program management, PGMP, too. Business value. Portfolio managers prioritize work to meet a company's strategic goals. Managing a program is all about keeping track of resources and other constraints affecting groups of projects so that all of those projects can achieve some shared benefit. Projects, on the other hand, are about managing the work to achieve some result. A portfolio's strategic goals, a program's shared benefit, and the result of that project all add business value to your company. Deal with constraints. Portfolio managers need to prioritize work in environments with limited resources, budgets, risk tolerance, and many other constraints that set up the environment for their portfolio's success. Program managers need to manage groups of projects that are being produced by the same resource pool or from the same budget. Project managers often have predefined schedules, resource constraints, and scope requirements to manage. All three need to use the processes, tools, and techniques that have worked for other managers to balance all of the constraints in their business environments. Projects, programs, and portfolios all use charters. All of the work you do to initiate, plan, execute, control, and close your project helps your program and portfolio managers understand how your project is doing and keep it on track. Following all of the processes in the PMBOK registered trademark guide will ensure that the programs and portfolios of which your project is a part always know how you are doing and what you'll accomplish. While there are many differences in the documents that are used in portfolio and program management, all three use a charter to define their objectives. Charter. Portfolios, programs, and projects all use a charter to define their goals and initiate work. A charter lists any known constraints and goals and gives the manager authority to get the work started. Portfolio charter. A portfolio charter lays out the strategic benefits that a portfolio is going to accomplish. It lists all of the programs and projects included in the portfolio. Program charter. A program charter defines the shared benefit that the program is achieving as well as the list of projects it includes. Project charter. A project charter gives a project description, summary schedule, and business case, and assigns a project manager. We'll talk about the project charter in depth in Chapter 4. While the charter is used in projects, programs, and portfolios, you really only need to focus on the project charter for the exam. We'll spend a lot of time on the project charter later in the book. Projects, programs, and portfolios way up close. Let's take a look at a charter for a portfolio, a program, and a project for a software company called Ranch Hand Games to get a better understanding of how they break down. Ranch Hand Games, Portfolio Charter. Project Description, the online gaming portfolio. Market research shows that console gaming and PC gaming will not increase as fast as the online market in the coming fiscal year. Ranch Hand has launched a number of programs to target the online gaming market and increase our market share by 10% in the next 15 months. The following programs and projects are part of the online gaming portfolio programs. Online Arcade Program. Online Gaming Sales and Marketing Campaign. Server Upgrade Program. Online Store Program Projects. Cows Gone Wild 2. Zardhack and the Flugelhorn. A portfolio manager monitors the combined performance of all of the programs and projects. To evaluate how the portfolio is doing. Ranch Hand Games, Program Charter Project Description, the online arcade program. This is a targeted rewrite of all of our early games from the late 1980s and early 1990s. For the online gaming market, all of these products will be released at the same time, to coincide with a major trade show. Since many of these games were created using shared code, they'll need to be managed together to make configuration management easier and coordinate development activities. Projects. Ranch Hand Games, Project Charter Project Description, Cows Gone Wild 2. This is a follow-up to the hugely successful Cows Gone Wild title. It will include an online gaming component and is part of the online gaming portfolio. Project requirements. Must allow for up to 8 online players per team. Real-time text and voice communication between players. Faster, more realistic graphics rendering. New characters and scenery summary. Milestone schedule requirements complete. March 4th code complete. June 1st alpha release for internal testing. June 20th beta release for external testing. August 31st general release. November 15th. This program needs to be managed because all of the projects in it share code. If the projects were all managed independently, there would be time and effort wasted on all of the project teams trying to coordinate with one another. Portfolios can contain both programs and projects. And other things too, like sub-portfolios and operations. You can tell if this project succeeds if the requirements are met and the product is high quality. Your project sponsor provided the charter. We'll learn more about sponsors and charters in Chapter 4. You'll need to know the difference between a portfolio, a program, and a project on the exam. Which one of those does each story below describe? A consulting company wanted to increase the amount of billable time for each consultant, so it started several company-wide programs to help consultants to get more productivity out of each year. A university wanted to build admissions websites for all of its departments. It realized that all of the sites would be feeding into the same registration interface and decided to manage all of them together in order to save time. A company wanted to switch from a paper-based human resources group to a software-based one. It spent some time looking into the best software packages for the job, and decided to manage all of the HR functions together since it needed the same people to help with all of the work. A company wanted to build a better reporting interface so that it could have more accurate data on year-end goals. A software game company wanted to build up its online presence. It started several marketing and sales initiatives, created some new games, and rewrote some old ones in order to reach more gamers online. A construction company bid on several parking garage projects at the same time. It won one of the bids, and built the garage a month under schedule and $5,000 under budget. Portfolio. Program. Program. Portfolio. Project. Portfolio. Project.